My name is Baudrand. I am a Canadian rock climber. My parents were climbers for 20 years before they brought us into the world. When they wanted to go climbing outside, they would bring us along. It's the type of thing that before you do it, you don't really want to, but after you do it, like, you're really happy that you did. So my brother and I started climbing when I was 4 outside. And then when we moved to Salt Lake City, I was 7, and we were introduced to a competition team. In the off-season, usually I'll separate my training into 2 parts. I'll have a weightlifting and strength building portion, and then the other portion will be climbing. And the climbing portion is to keep up on the skills and to put your strength building to practice. Learning new skills, trying to adapt to your strength, and then the other part is just to get as strong as possible. It always changes, but the more experience you have, the more routines and procedures you can create, and therefore the more consistent you can get. When you rely on a certain emotion or a certain mental space to perform well, sometimes those headspaces can be hard to always do. If you have something going on in your life, your mind is distracted, then you won't access that perfect state of performance. But if you delete all emotions and only focus on what is, you don't focus on a mental feeling, you focus on a physical feeling. And so that's something that I've been trying to do more and more, and that I've seen a lot of the best athletes in the sport do. My mom always told me the value of being very friendly and open and putting yourself out there. I do try to be as friendly as possible and try to be as excellent as possible. There's 8-year-old kids who have the goal to get to the NBA. For me, it was never that. For me, it was only how can I do well at my next competition? The path that I took to getting to high-level competitions, and I think the path most people take, is excelling young. It's not an obligation, but the younger you start, usually it will start your trajectory to high-level climbing later in life. I started excelling at climbing when I was 9 or 10. I think I won my first nationals in the US in youth competitions and in Canada as well. Starting at high-level competitions when you're young brought me to where I am without really having to strive for, oh, I want to be at the World Cups. I'm just focusing on my little world when I'm 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I have a competition in a few months. I'm going to train for it, and slowly you get stronger and stronger. The climbing community all around the world is really fabulous. It is a huge network of people. You don't have to know anyone directly, but you will definitely know them through a connection of people. And because you have that connection, you're automatically friends. Climbing can sometimes feel like something that you need to do, because it is the form that I really push myself in. I don't always need to find the joy in climbing. I don't always need to have it if I can find it in other places in my life. Like a sport that I don't get to do very often, but that brings me so much joy, is kite surfing. I feel the same experience mountain biking every time I go. Photography, it really allowed me to view the world differently and take more appreciation for the little details that you see in life instead of taking them for granted. My goals in the next 2 years are to finish my pilot studies and become a certified pilot. And during that whole time, I would love to continue climbing at a high level. Definitely we'll be putting everything that I have into climbing until the 2028 Olympics. That is a big goal of mine. The Olympic values will always stay with me, whether it's in climbing or it's in pilot school or what other aspect there is in my life. Yeah, the Olympic values will always stay with me.